Chapter 3. A Ghost Appears. Grandma was Grandma Earth. She was Miss Earth's mother. She wasn't really a grandmother because Miss Earth, her only child, was unmarried and childless. But everyone called Grandma Earth Grandma because she looked like one. She had a froth of grandmotherly white curls spilling off her head. Her eyes were poor. Her teeth were yellow. Her elbows dimpled like crumpled silk. Grandma Earth was famous for making delicious donuts. People sometimes drove all the way from Montreal for them. If the customers' cars happened to break down in Hamlet, Vermont, Grandma Earth could help. She was a whiz at auto mechanics. She could wield a monkey wrench like a pro. She was as good with motor oil as she was with deep fry oil. If she liked you, she'd leave a little package of donut holes on the front seat when you came to pick up your car. Her business was called Grandma's Baked Goods and Auto Repair Shop. She turned down her CB radio and came in from the garage to take her place behind the bakery counter. Above the donuts was a wooden plaque showing a teapot and a cup, and the words to tea or not to tea. That is the question. Well, boys, what'll it be? She said to the copycats, who had headed for donuts the instant school was out. The regular. 7 of them, said Sammy Grubb, speaking on behalf of all the copycats. Salem has never had one before. Poor soul, said Grandma Earth. She counted out 7 of the best chocolate donuts in the known universe. Technically they were double doubly Dutch fudge Swiss chocolate chocolate donuts. Grandma called them chocolate swoons. 7 chocolate swoons, coming up. The boys pooled their quarters and dimes, and Salem contributed $2 whole. The boys devoured the donuts with gusto. Now whenever you order my chocolate swoons, it means you need extra special brain power for something, said Grandma. What are the copycats up to today? Sammy Grubb wondered if Grandma Earth might have an open mind about ghosts. But weren't the elderly sometimes feeble and easily terrified? While he was thinking about it, a customer called from inside the garage. Got my pickup ready yet, Grandma? Chill out, hold your bladder, I've got customers, roared Grandma through the door. Don't you know this is Vermont, the home of delayed gratification? She looked seriously at the boys. Anything on your mind that I can help you with, fellows? No, said Sammy Grubb, though he was tempted. Whatever else Grandma Earth was, feeble and easily terrified she was not. The donuts are help enough. Come on, guys. They tramped back outside into the crisp November afternoon air. Hey, I got an idea, said Forrest Eugene. Let's show Salem the old swimming hole. Maybe if we're lucky we can feel an explosion close up. Since Salem was the new boy in the class this year, the copycats were still having fun showing him the hidey holes and shortcuts and secret lookouts of Hamlet, Vermont. I think I feel an explosion right here, said Salem, holding his stomach. He wasn't very used to chocolate. The other boys were already yelling and cantering away, the thrill of the old swimming hole drawing them. The light was golden brown and the hills gray, and the copycats ran like young bucks out Squish Toad Road, past Old Man Fingerpie's place, and up the slope of Hardscrabble Hill. 20 minutes later, belching chocolate gas, they came to a halt on the edge of the old quarry. Hamlet marble was famous. 100 years ago husky men of Hamlet had started carving marble from the hills, slicing it out in huge blocks. Hamlet marble had gone to sheath the capitals of several Midwestern states. Once a well-known sculptor in Boston had carved something scandalous out of Hamlet marble, and the sculptor had been tarred and feathered and run out of town. Once a piece of Hamlet marble had fallen off the cornice of a Manhattan skyscraper and flattened a baby car. Riots just seconds after an Irish nanny had picked up baby to burp it. That's what folks said, anyway. Hamlet marble led an interesting life, after 20 million years of waiting. There was a new quarry being worked now, on the far side of Hardscrabble Hill. On the near side, the old played-out quarry had filled up with water. In winter it was an ice skating rink. In the spring the slope was too muddy to climb this high in the hills. In summer the quarry became a perfect swimming hole, so deep that you could cannonball from any ledge in safety, although it was so cold that if you dove in the shadows you might get frostbite even in August. In the fall, the old quarry pool was a wonder of nature. Birch trees had grown up around the pond, leaning over it so that their white reflections looked pasted onto black paper. This afternoon there was a pattern of red leaves, floating brilliantly on the water's skin like the bloody tracks of a beast escaped from a trap. "Wow," said Salim reverently. "You said it," murmured Mike. Salim's friends were pleased he was properly impressed. "Bet you never saw anything in India like this." "Well, no," said Salim. He began to say what he had seen, but the boys weren't listening. They were trying to sink the crimson leaves with stones. The missiles made little plunking sounds and stirred up circles and rings on the water's surface. "Don't get too near the edge," warned Sammy Grubb, feeling as he always did some responsibility for the copycats. After all, he was the chief. "If the quarriers detonate their explosives again this afternoon and you tumble in, you'll be a frozen popsicle before we get you out." The boys moved back about an eighth of an inch and kept pitching stones. They were loud with friendly competition. None of the boys was good at it, but it was fun to try. Suddenly Stan said, "Hey, was that thunder?" "If it is, it must be in Canada," said Forrest Eugene. You could barely hear it. "Well, what was it?" asked Salim. "Was it one of those TNT explosions?" "An explosion this close, we'd hear," said Forrest Eugene in a teacherly way. Forrest Eugene was known as Mr. Science. "Don't forget, the active quarry is just on the other side of Hardscrabble Hill. There it is again." They stopped throwing stones. The water began to soothe itself. Yes, there was a sound, a kind of low humming, a persistent rumble. It wasn't skyward, was it? They all looked up. Maybe it came through the ground? They looked down. "Or," said Forrest Eugene, puzzling, "is it from the pond? Water carries sound waves well, doesn't it? Whales can hear each other across the South Pacific from 5 miles away or more." The boys stared at the water. It had a strange, hesitant look, as if it wanted to come to a simmer in tight efficient bubbles. For all that, Sammy noticed, the water wasn't moving, it was as still as a mirror. "A mirror." "Look," said Sammy in a whisper. "Look in the water." The reflection look. They stared. It took a few seconds to focus. Something was there. Something was hovering. They could see it reflected upside down in the water, drifting, formless. The last ripples from their stone-throwing contest still ruffled the skin of the water, so the thing hovered, shapeless as a dream. "Copycats," said Sammy Grubb. "What in nature or out of it is that thing?" But before the water could settle down to be a perfect mirror, the men on the other side of the slope set off the last blast of the afternoon. All at once, the thing was gone. "It reminds me of the ghost in the airplane," said Salim in a trembling voice. But the chocolate donuts were making him feel too queasy to talk, and later on he was no longer sure. So he didn't say any more.